just tuning in 5 minutes early before the presentation, just so the link can be transferred to Mind Body Experience website. So just hold off for a few minutes. The presentation will start at exactly 2 o'clock. And I'm just going to get a couple things ready, make sure that you can see me properly. Okay. So just give us a couple more minutes for the link to be transferred to Mind Body Experience website, and we're going to start. Okay guys, just a couple more minutes. I want to make sure that everybody on Mind Body Experience website can see this video. I'm transmitting on Vedic Art Ireland website, and it's going to be the presentation is going to be on Mind Body Experience holistic online holistic fair website as well. So just give everyone a couple more minutes to tune in. So maybe grab yourself a glass of water or a cup of tea, so you can be comfortable when you're watching me do some crazy stuff with the paints. And yeah, I can see Freddie is there. Hi Freddie, I hope that you're getting the link right there. I'm going to start in a couple of minutes. And I have some things to show you as well, so that's going to be fun. I haven't figured out how to see the comments on the live video just yet. I'm recording on my phone, so I don't know if I can see you commenting, but if I do, I'm going to say hello. So if you see me now, maybe just type in hello or send a thumbs up or a heart or anything you want, so I know that you can see me and you can hear me. And I can watch the comments there. Yeah, I'm not that tech savvy. I'm kind of good, but not that good. So just bear with me, as this is the first online paint pouring techniques presentation. I've never done this kind of thing online. I've done some talks, but I haven't done the presentation, so that's going to be interesting. So I think we are on. I'll just check the time there. There you go. Okay. So yeah, let's start guys. So welcome to online presentation of paint pouring techniques. I'm going to start by saying a few words about me, because some of you know me, some of you don't. My name is Lorelei Daly. I am a therapist, artist, and teacher, writer. I do a lot of different things. But what we're going to focus on today is creativity. So creativity is something that all of us need to do in order to feel passion in life, in order to feel fulfilled, in order to be able to express ourselves. Creativity is not just about painting or singing or making music, playing instruments. It is about expressing yourselves. And sometimes people find it hard to step into creativity because they think you need to have some specific skills in order to be an artist. And you don't. We are all artists of our lives. We are all creators of our lives, and we all need to express ourselves. So there's a lot of different ways to express yourself. It doesn't have to be artistic. It can be how you dress. It can be how you talk. It can be the things that you do in life that make you happy. That's your self-expression. What I have found, it was back in 2012. I have found a method called Vedic art. As you can see right here, this is one of my businesses, Vedic Art Ireland. And I found this method back in 2012. This is a method that comes from Sweden, and it's about self-development through art. And I have to tell you that before I joined the course, the Vedic art courses, I have not painted ever. Like maybe when I was a child, I painted a little bit, some stick figures at school, but everybody said it was just, it wasn't good enough, and I just kind of gave it up. So when I found Vedic art, I realized that I can express myself through the use of art without actually having any skills. So Vedic art is something that became a part of my life and something I teach people. And throughout my artistic journey, I found different methods to work with, different tools and different things that I've been drawn to throughout those 8 years already, 8 years. And I think it was about a year and a half ago that I have found paint pouring. Paint pouring is fun and easy in a way that you don't need to use any paintbrushes. And for a lot of people, the blockage to creating art is thinking that you have to know how to draw or how to create specific objects or faces or landscapes. So by removing the brush, the paintbrush out of the equation, it becomes easier for people to do something artsy, to be creative, to play with paints. And paint pouring is actually about just playing with paints. I'm sure that you have seen a lot of different videos on YouTube. If you're interested in paint pouring, there's tons of videos on YouTube. I have posted a couple of videos myself as well. But sometimes it's easier if somebody just shows you step by step how to do this. Like, it is a very, very easy way to be creative, very easy way to be an artist. But it took me a while to find different ways of dealing with the material, of mixing the materials, mixing the supplies and media to make sure that it flows, because paint pouring is all about the flow. And the thing that I have found, like, self-development is a big part of my life, and it's something that I teach people. I found that paint pouring can be a great way of learning to let go. And this is something that we all need to learn. We are very attached to controlling our lives and controlling the outcome. And then that brings in a lot of tension into people's lives, trying to make sure that everything goes right, that we think of all of the steps to make sure everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. And then at the end, what if it doesn't happen the way we thought it was going to happen? We feel like we failed, we feel sad, we feel resentful, we feel bad about ourselves. So letting go is about being present in what you're doing your best, but letting go of the result. And it's something that we all can use in life. And I have found that paint pouring is a great way to learn to let go. Because with paint pouring, there is very limited amount of control we have over what we're doing. So you can choose the canvas that you can use, the size of the canvas. It doesn't have to be a canvas, like I've done paint pouring on clay and on different objects, like on mirrors and vases and stuff. But canvas is like the easiest way to do it because it's flat, it's easy to manipulate. So you can choose the surface that you want to work on. You can choose the colors that you want to work with. You can mix the colors to make sure that they are flowing properly. And then there's a couple of techniques that I'm going to show you in a few minutes that you can do, but then at the end the paint just kind of flows in the way that it does. So we have a bit of control over the process, but just a little bit, and we need to be able to kind of enjoy watching the paints play with each other, watching the flow. And then when we see the result, like whatever you do with paint pouring, it always turns out amazing, but it's never what you expected. So when you finished with your painting, you realize that you don't have to control everything in order to create something beautiful. You just need to be in the moment, be in the process, and enjoy exactly what it is that's happening here, and connect to the colors and just have fun with it. And then, like, it kind of paint pouring proves to us that by letting go of the end result, by letting go of the control of what's going to happen at the end, we create something amazing, and we are in the flow of creativity. We're connected to the universe, we're connected to the flow of life. So I invite you all to give it a try, to paint pouring, and see for yourself how easy it is to let go with this medium. And once you learn to let go in paint pouring, I can promise you that it's going to be easier to let go of a lot of things in life. So let's start with paint pouring itself. So at first I wanted to show you a few of the paintings that I have already done, and I will show you maybe 2 or 3 different techniques that I can use, that you can use to create those paintings. So the very simple one would be a flip cup. It's like the easiest thing ever, and this is the kind of painting that kind of comes out when you do the flip cup. So this is one of my flip cup paintings. It just kind of a few different colors and just allowing them to flow. And this is another one that I've done. I never know which way is up, which way is down, which is kind of cool as well. So this is another one that I've done with a couple different colors, and then there's kind of a flow in between as well. And yeah, the fun thing about paint pouring is, like, it is all abstract, so you can see something different when you hold it this way, when you hold it this way. So I hope it's focusing there for you. So after the painting is finished, you can decide which way it goes up. And sometimes you can see things in the painting, like maybe a shape comes out, or you know, a little figure comes out, and then you can use paint pouring a picture as a background. So it doesn't have to be left the way it is. You can use it as a background and add other things to it. So I'll show you that in a minute as well. So this is another one of flip cups. Like, it is amazing what comes out, and I have not expected that's what's going to come out when I was working with it. So this is flip cup. The other technique is a swipe. Now, swipe is a bit harder, so it took me a while to kind of get it working. And swipe is nice when you do it on long canvas. So if you have a long canvas, there is always a bit of a background color, white or black left, and you can put it this way or this way. So swipe technique, I'm going to show that to you as well. And this is another swipe with black background. So you get to decide what it is after it's finished and how you're going to put it up on the wall. I think if you go like this, it looks, I like it this way. So, but you can choose what happens. This is one of my favorite paintings that I've done recently. It has used, I used 2 different flip cups just to create 2 different landscapes. To me, this is a landscape. Actually, I think we can go either this way. If we go this way, this is kind of like the sea, and then you have a little landscape there on top. Or if we go this way, we have landscape here and the sky. So lots of different options with paint pouring paintings. And another thing that it's not as easy, but it's really fun, is using a string pull. So I will show that to you as well. So when we do the string pull, you can create flowers like this in the background. And this is another one, another string pull. So I think if we have enough time, we'll do those 3 techniques today. Maybe if you're at home and you have your supplies with you, maybe you can create paintings as I show you. If you don't, just come back to this video. It's going to be on Vedic Art Ireland website and on Mind Body Experience online website as well, so you can come back to it and then just kind of follow the instructions and create some of your own paintings. So I'm just going to put these away because I don't want them to get messed up, and paint pouring gets really messy. Oh, I wanted to show you one more painting. So this is when I use paint pouring background. So there was a background that I've done, and then I just added a lovely tree into the background. Or you can do it the other way around. I had the other one is kind of large, so I'm not going to show it to you right now. But you can kind of do background with paints around the paint pour, and then paint pour can be in the middle, creating part of the picture. So, okay, so paint pouring. First of all, what you need is clothes that you're not afraid to mess up, because paint pouring is really messy. So make sure, like I have my painting clothes, so I don't worry about getting them dirty. Get some gloves, because the way we mix different media in paint pouring, so it can be quite sticky to your hands, and it's hard to get off your hands. So use gloves for paint pouring. So I'm just going to put mine on. Yeah, sometimes if I forget to use the gloves, I just I can do my other job, which uses hands, and then they're all covered in paint. So when you have your gloves, when you have clothes that you're not afraid to mess up, what you need is acrylic paints. So I have loads of different colors. I use either Southern Green brand because they have lovely colors, and they're not expensive. So Southern Green can be found in Dublin in 3 locations, I think, and or Icon, which can be found in Mr. Price. Now there's different media that you can use for paint pouring. Like you can use a pouring medium, but it's quite expensive. So if you're just starting out as trying how it's going to work, don't get the expensive pouring medium, because there's going to be a lot of trial and error. So what you're going to use instead of a pouring medium is craft glue, hobby glue, just plain PVA glue. And this one can be found in any of the Euro shops. I get this one in Mr. Price because I love Mr. Price. They have like loads of cool creative stuff. So we have acrylic paints, we have PVA, and the other important thing is silicone oil. So silicone oil is what helps you to create those lovely cells. Okay, now I think now it's clear. So I found this silicone oil in Southern Green, but before they actually started having paint pouring supplies, what I would get just silicone oil in one of the motor shops for the car. So you can use this as well, but this is in a spray. So if you just use the spray, there's going to be too many cells. So you can just spray it into just a little plastic bottle and let it settle down. Okay, so yes, you have your paints. I'm going to show you how to the mixing ratios first. Now I myself, like what I do, I prepare my mixes in advance, so then whenever I feel creative, I can just go for my paints that are already mixed. So I have just bottles with different colors here, and I just keep them and just kind of shake them a little bit before I start doing my painting. But I am going to show you how to mix your paints in order to get them to be flowy. So what you need is clear plastic cup. It's good if it's clear, because then you can see how much of each thing you have put into the mix. So let's see which color we're going to use. Let me see what color I don't have in there. Okay, I like this blue. So maybe I'm just going to put this down a bit. There we go, so you can see you can see me mixing things. So get a plastic cup. It's good to have lollipop sticks or I don't know, sushi kind of Chinese eating sticks as well. I don't remember what you call them, but something to mix your mix. So I have my paint, I have my glue. I don't see if it's clear enough, yeah, and a jug with water. So that's all we need to mix your paints. And then the ratio, that's something that took me a while to figure out in order to make sure that the paints are flowy enough. So the consistency that you're looking for is kind of like creme fraiche. So flowy but not too watery. It's kind of it will take a little bit of time to figure out because every paint brand is different. So I will use less water for this one and more water for this one. So you'll have to see which paints you're working with, but the ratio I'm going to give you is you mix glue and paint half and half, and then start adding water to create the flowy consistency. So the way it comes out with this paint is usually 1/3 of a cup that's paint, 1/3 of the cup of glue, and almost another third of water. But let's see how that's going to come out. Now, mixing paints is part of the process itself because it teaches you to just be in the moment. It can be very meditative. And when you choose your colors that you work with, choose the colors that you like. So you can actually start connecting with the colors when you're mixing them. We're just going to mix one color because it takes a while. So let's say we have that much of paint and the same amount of glue. So when you're using a clear cup, you can see that it's the same amount. And then we start adding water. So I'll just add a little water at a time and just mixing things up. So that mixing, I'll tell you, like when I pre-made my colors, because if I want to mix, let's say 5-6 different colors, it will take maybe 40 minutes, an hour. So I prefer to do it in advance, and I have maybe 10-12 colors ready there. I just put some nice music on and use it as a part of a meditation process. I like doing kind of active meditation, and this is part like this. It works really well as an active meditation. So we need to make sure that all of the glue is mixed in with the paint. And again, on the clear cup, you can see that there is a little bit glue on the side there. So that's why it's good to use clear cups. And that's still a bit thick. So we will add a bit more water. And you just keep going with colors this way. So adding water, mixing it, listening to the music, looking at the beautiful, beautiful color. And make sure to go all the way to the bottom because the water is lighter than the glue and paint. So make sure that you get all of the paint from the bottom. And the reason I put the paint in first into the cup is that glue is thicker than paint. So if you put the glue in first, then it will be really hard to mix it. So put paint first, then glue, and then water. Okay, see, like on the bottom there's still a few little bits that have not been mixed up. Yeah, I really love this color. So when you're choosing colors for your paint pour, don't choose too many for one painting because then it can become really messy. I recommend maybe using 3 or 4 colors and then using a base color. So the base color would be white or black because then all the other colors can show up really nicely. So white or black as a base color. And the difference in mixing is that for the colors that you're using, you're going to add silicone oil. Now for the base colors, you do not add oil. you do not add silicone. The base kind of acts as just as a background, and it doesn't create any cells. Now the colors will create cells. There we go. So see, we're already mixing for maybe 5 minutes. And then, yeah, I think it's good enough. Now if the mix is too watery, you can thicken it by adding just a tiny bit of glue. If it happens that it becomes too watery, just add a tiny bit more glue. But I think this is kind of good enough. So make sure to check. Just check with your stick, you know, if it's flowing nicely. Okay. So I think we have this color ready. So yeah, the main colors that you use, you add 2 or 3 drops of silicone oil into the mix. Not more, just 2 or 3 drops. So we only have half a cup here, so I'm just going to put 2 drops of silicone oil and just mix it. Make sure that the oil is nicely mixed in. Yeah, I think the consistency is good. So you're going to do this with each of your colors, and just remember the main colors, you're going to use 2 or 3 drops of silicone oil. For your base colors, white or black, do not use silicone oil, but the mixing ratios are the same. So once you have all of your colors, you decide which technique you're going to do. So we're going to start with flip cup because it's easy. Now I have my table covered with plastic, and also I have like an old board that I use because the paintboard just kind of goes around. But another way to make sure to keep it safe if your canvas is small is to get yourself a baking tray. So there's a baking tray, and I think this is like a dish rack that I found, again with Mr. Price. Like, I love all of the Euro shops because you can get great supplies there. So this one has been used a lot, and there's a lot of like old paint there. But if you use this, it's going to be easier not to be messy. So yeah, you have your baking tray. You can also use old dish rack. I have this one, and I'm going to use this just upside down when I do the swipe, because for the swipe we're going to use longer canvas. But for now, I have little tiny canvas just here. So we're going to use this for the flip cup. I think I got this one in Tiger. Tiger has really good and cheap supplies as well. So if you want to just play around, don't pay too much for supplies. So yes, we have our canvas. Now for the flip cup, what you're going to do is use another large cup, just a bit bigger than what you have here, because you're going to put a lot of different colors here. Okay. And what we're going to start with is our base color. So I think we're going to use black. So this is my black. So you start by layering colors into your cup. So we put base color there. And again, like I don't use I don't measure things. I don't measure paints as I use them. I just kind of see as it goes. And it's better to have a bit more paint and less, because if you have not enough paint to cover the whole canvas, the background, like the canvas, is just going to show through and you will not see beautiful cells. So it's better to use a tiny bit more paint than less. So this is our base. So we're going to start with black, and I'm going to use this beautiful blue. So just put the blue on top, slowly. That's good enough. Now make sure you have a lot of paper as well, because it does get messy. And what other colors can we use? Blue, maybe we'll do yellow. So I have a bit of yellow there. Put some yellow. Okay. And I have this bright pink. There we go. So we have background and 3 colors. So I think that's going to be good enough. And you can take a look in the cup as well. Sorry, there we go. So you can see there's already cells forming in a cup. So that's going to be interesting. And flip cup is really easy. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your canvas, put it on top of your cup, make sure that it's there's no holes in between the surfaces, right? And you're going to exactly flip it. So we flip the cup, and we just leave it here for a few moments. I want to make sure that you can see it really well, so we're just going to lower this. So you allow all the paint to just flow onto the surface, and then when you're ready, you quickly remove the cap and see what happens. And it's good to just kind of allow the paint to go over the sides a little bit. Just make sure you cover all the corners. Now do not touch the surface, because if you touch the surface, the cells are going to disappear. There we go. You can touch the sides a little bit to make sure there is no white. There we go. Okay, so this is what it looks like right now. I want to make sure that you can see it, so I'm just going to move it a bit closer. And then if you just leave it, now it has to be flat, if you just leave it, the cells are going to start forming on the surface. And messy hands. I want to see if I can move the camera a bit so you're looking at it from the right angle. Now you don't have to see me anymore. You just need to see the painting. And there we go. So the cells are forming more on this corner. Now with paint pouring, it takes a long time for the paint to dry. About 2 to 3 days, depending how much paint you have used or how large is the surface. So that's why I always recommend having a little tray where you can leave the paintings to dry. So the cells are forming there by themselves. So what you can do, you can just leave it and see what happens. Or there's another tool that we use. This is a kitchen torch, the kind of torch we use for making creme brulee. So you can get it at any of the homeware stores. Now I'm not sure if mine is going to work. Like, I chopped it up with gas, but like, it doesn't always work. So if you don't have a kitchen torch, you can use a hair dryer. And by using heat, you can create more cells. So we're going to give it a try. Okay, so kitchen torch is working. And I just want to make sure that you can see it. So we add a bit more to it. You can see more cells coming to the surface. Now don't put the heat too close, because then you can burn through the paint and through the canvas. And there's more cells forming there. So we can just leave it this way and we'll see what happens. We're going to come back to this painting when we finish the presentation, and you'll see what it looks like at the end. But this is Flip Cup, so it's very easy. If you want to start your paint pouring journey with something simple, use the Flip Cup. So we're going to put this away, and let me see. Just going to put this to the side, and for that I have more baking trays. And the reason I use baking trays is because there's glue on the painting, so it's very sticky. So if you put it on paper, then the paper that the painting is drying on is going to get stuck to the painting, and it's hard to get it off. So we're going to leave this painting there. And what are we going to do as... Lost you there. Hold on 1 second. Just need to mount this back. There we go.